Hello everybody and welcome to the NBL1 Show. I'm Cameron Luke and a huge weekend of hoops. Couple of teams stamped their positions into the NBL1 playoffs. We'll get to that very shortly. Plenty to get into as we get into the second half of the year, and there will be plenty of NBL1 players wearing the green and gold in the next couple of weeks. I am joined by the superstar Mark Worthington as well. Hello, Wortho.
Oh, that's me first, the superstar? Former.
That is, you know.
Former.
Former superstar Mark Worthington. Sorry, you tell me what to say and I just say it verbatim. How you doing, buddy? You well?
I'm good. I got to go to Bendigo on the weekend and watch the good old Bendigo-Ballarat rivalry, and it was a good 2 games.
We're going to touch on that and also what happened post-game as well, but we are joined by the current superstar and a person you've given a nickname to. I'm not quite sure if she's come across it, but we'll get to that very shortly. Talk about from
I knew you were going to stitch me up. As soon as I saw that Lauren Scherf was coming, I knew you were going to stitch me up straight away.
Firstly, when you're putting up... Hello, Lauren.
Hi,
welcome to
thank
you.
you for having
When
me.
you're getting 30 and 20 on a regular basis, she was always going to be at some point on the NBL1 Show, and you gave her the nickname on a show that everyone watches a couple of weeks ago, so I thought she might have said
No, you said it.
I didn't say it.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Do you know what the nickname is?
No, can't remember.
Oh, I don't remember. He called you Scherf and Turf because you were just continuing to dominate. Yeah.
Oh,
Because everyone loves
It's a play on words.
yeah.
Surf and Turf, which everyone loves, and that's what he gave you, Surf and Turf. And now
Because it wasn't just points, it's points and rebounds.
Yep.
And now look, now he's gone all. Now you like it. He's going to try and claim it back.
Yep.
Well, I did say it.
There you go. Either way, welcome. Hello, how you doing? And you're going exceptionally well, and the team's in ripping form as well.
Yeah, I mean, us girls at Knox, we know we're having a good time, we're having a lot of fun, and I think that just shows on the court, which is real good.
What's changed? Well, not what's changed, because you didn't exactly start the year horribly, but you're probably playing your best basketball right now as a team in the last probably month or so. Like, do you feel this is clicking and coming together? Why do you think you're starting to play your best now?
Well, I think because at the start of the season, a lot of us girls were in and out of the squad, and a lot of us hadn't played before together, and I know that a few of us girls had played with each other at Darn Valley and on Australian teams and everything, and I think that coming together as a group, you know, throughout all the trainings and the indies we do with Zoe Carr and Rob Coulter, I think that's, you know, really helped us perform in games, and you know, I guess we're just having a lot of fun at training, and you know, we have our serious moments, but we also try and make training fun, which is, I think, helps us, you know, perform well on the court.
And a weekend away, before we get to where though, a weekend away, obviously 2 wins in Tasmania as well. Does that continue just, not only the 2 big wins you have, but also the fact when you get away, continuing to bond as a team and getting to know each other a little more off court?
Yeah, I mean, we had a heap of fun on the road. We had a lot of travelling to do, driving, so we made the most of it, and, you know, we had a lot of laughs, and I think that, you know, when we're such a tight-knit group, it really comes out on the court.
Made the most of it. Sounds like a nice little Saturday night session actually after a win.
Listen to these stats, Cam.
Fire away.
21 points, over 21 points, over 12 rebounds, 3 assists, 1.3 blocks a game. But the most impressive thing for me,
Hit me.
49% from the field. She's currently 44% from 3 and 91% from the free throw line. So you've been around for a while now. Obviously came in as a junior with the Dandenong stuff that I can remember.
Yep.
Anyway.
I was really young.
Yeah. But obviously you've just started to feel comfortable about your game now. What have you taken out of the WNBL last season that's obviously propelled you this season in NBL1?
Well, I think being away from home, being out of your comfort zone really does help. I think being around a good group of people, you know, a good support system, you know, that gives you the confidence to play well. I think that's just the main thing I've taken away from being able to play in the WNBL, and especially, you know, going up against the likes of Tolo and Kelsey Griffin in training in Canberra, you know, that, you know, gave me a lot of insight on to how to improve my game, and, you know, so I think that's what's really given me the confidence to come back here and do well.
She had a massive game in game 2, 27 and 23 in 25 minutes. And so that's, I mean, you put up those numbers any time, doesn't matter what league it is, it shows that you're pretty dominant in what you're doing. So.
You know what I say about that as well? You're going to play more minutes, okay? So if you give us 27 and 23 and 25 minutes, imagine how you got 40, right? You could have given us 45 and 35.
I could have.
Yeah.
I could have.
I know. I say this to everyone who comes in who has good games and lower minutes, and I'm a very selfish person, so but that's what I'm always saying. So respect to you for saying, hey, you know, I've got to take some rest as well, but if you give us 45 and 35, you'll be back here again.
It's a possibility.
Yeah.
I'll work on it.
That's all I need. Geelong and Bendigo are two of the teams that still sit atop the ladder with only one loss each. So when we look at those two teams, that's where we are continually having as a standard of the NBL1 year. One, without having the fixture in front of you, have you seen them yet? And two, how confident are you, if you have or you haven't, that you can be and the champions coming into the year?
Well, we played Geelong second round, and that was a tough game. We went into overtime with them and we lost, but we haven't come up against Bendigo yet. But I'm sure us girls, with the form that we're in, we'll have a real chance at trying to beat them, and they're in fine form as well. I mean, they've got great talent in their team, so we've just got to try and find ways to lock them down, especially Kelly Wilson and Gabe Richards and Becca Tobin. They're great athletes, and we've just got to work really hard and, be real prepared for those games.
You've been dominant. Who would you rather face? Would you rather face Richards and Tobin in Bendigo or McBeggar, Akuso and Blickharves in Geelong?
That's tough. That's real tough.
You can't sit on the fence on this one either. We need an answer. Who would you prefer to play?
Probably Geelong, because we've already played them.
Yep.
So I have a...
Being familiar. It's a good answer.
Yeah.
There you go. She thinks she's going to beat Geelong next time that they play and have a dominant game.
You mentioned, I've spoken a lot about the NBL1, about players and be it, Opals camps or even the men's side of it when it comes to being overseas, or some NBL stuff, or then 3x3, which of course takes players out. And you're about to, and congratulations as well, the Australian University Games, or the team that onto the World University Games leaving on Friday. And you'll miss, how many? You'll miss almost a month, I suppose, of NBL1.
I think we miss 4 games. Yeah, well, I know we do as Knox, yeah.
So that's the big thing, to be able to handle players going in and out. And you mentioned that to the start of the year where there was players going in or out. How equipped are you, and it's always a hard question, I know, because you'll be very humble, but how equipped are the Knox Raiders in the women's side of it to be able to handle a very key player being out for a few games as we head towards the finals?
Well, we know how to handle adversity, and I know that there's a bunch of great girls on my team, and any one of them can come out and star any night. Like, we know that if someone's going to be locked down that night, that someone else is going to come through and perform. I think that's just the kind of calibre of girls that we have on our team, that, if someone gets locked down, someone else is going to come up and perform. So I think, if we just keep handling the adversity that we have, and, hopefully we'll be able to get a few more wins under our belt.
I hear what you're saying, but if you have a quiet game, the team struggles, plain and simple. So what expectations do you put on yourself to perform night in, night out?
I kind of not think about it too much. I kind of just, go in there, be focused on what I need to do, and, go in with a clear mindset of, the little things that I need to do for, for us to win. And I know that playing with the girls that, on my team, they're going to give me confidence to be able to do well. So, we all work off each other, and I think that's what makes us a great team.
Looking at the NBL1, obviously Geelong and Bendigo, the two teams, Knox have been playing really well. Ringwood, I think, have been a surprise packet this year, coming from the Big V, 11-4. Dandenong at different times without Beck Cole have struggled, but they're still Nunawading, and we're about to talk about a huge inclusion for Nunawading. Kilsyth with Nicholson in and out at different times as well. And then you go to Albury-Wodonga, who Lauren Jackson thinks and believes and says that they can beat the top teams, and Eltham, who started really well, right? And even look at Melbourne, of course, and some of them. This is a stacked NBL1 year, and Juning's coming in, Garrick's coming in, Eltham and Nunawading respectively. It just continues to get and grow this competition, doesn't it? Year in, year out. And you've been, of course, and part of the top competition here in Australia, but so many domestic competitions here in Australia. Where does the NBL1 rate compared to what you've played in recent years?
To be honest, I think it's one of the top leagues here in Australia. Obviously the WNBL and the NBL is a great league to play in, and it's, known worldwide. But I think that NBL1 is coming up the ranks, and I think it's one of the top leagues to play in the off-season. They've got Opals players, they've got WNBL players. They're going to get a wide spread of, great athletes to come and play, and I think that's what makes this competition great.
Who are you more excited to see? Maddie Garrick, who, of course, and her handles, and you spoke about in NBL overtime, or Alice Koenig, who's going to be great at Eltham and going to give them that bolster, I guess, to push or try and push back into the top 8. We talk about it. Jenna Hay, of course, at Melbourne. We're just seeing top flight Opals and superstars come back and play for their, if not their junior associations, clubs are able to get them, and it brings in not only the intensity, the games go to a new level, but so many people are interested, and these gyms are getting packed.
I think between Maddie and Alice, I think if you're Albury sitting in 8th place right now, you're looking at Eltham all of a sudden a little bit worried with Alice coming back in. And Nunawading, they're currently in 6th. They had a really, really bad loss to Waverley on the Sunday, which was probably unexpected by everyone except for the Waverley fans. But I think those two will bring just another dimension and the star power that we like to see in NBL1. And I do like Maddie Garrick and the way that she can control the ball, but Alice Koenig has proven that she can score in multiple different ways and has been doing it for a long time now. So to say that I'd like one over the
tough,
other,
isn't it?
I'm not gonna,
It is.
I said for you not to be on the fence, but I'm totally sitting on the fence and I'm happy to be there.
All right, well, let's quickly look to the men's as well, because you were there. You mentioned the rivalry in Bendigo on Saturday night. Bendigo and Ballarat, of course, been a rivalry that has, well, it's been on for as long as basketball's held in those parts of regional Victoria. What did you make of it as Ballarat, who sit atop the NBL1 ladder, secure their first playoff spot in the division? Yeah,
look, it was a fantastic game and kudos to Bendigo. They came out and Ray Turner in particular, he was unstoppable for pretty much 3/4 of this game and Denga Kuth really struggled with him. I think if you're Bendigo, you look back at the game and just say, if we just had a few of those turnovers back, we could have beaten that team. And then they went and got the job done against Albury Wodonga on the Sunday. But, I mean, they've got a super, super talented roster, Ballarat, and I think if you're Chock as the coach, you're really happy with the offensive production, but you need to make sure that your defence gets in line going into finals because definitely on the Saturday there was times where they just struggled on the defensive end.
What's their main strength? You've seen them a couple of times now. What's their main strength?
I just think they're super athletic, and you look at their wings with Kwani and Jerry Evans Jr. on the wing, that they can both score, but you have to lock down multiple people in that team. Obviously, we've seen what Denga Kuth is capable earlier on this season. Since he signed with the Phoenix, his numbers have dropped off considerably. But then you still have those guys, Sam Short, who was a development player with Melbourne United. He's still finding his feet. I just think that they're, 1 to 5, they're super, super talented. I think junking up your defence is the way to go moving forward, not allowing them to get into a rhythm offensively. And then down the other end, you've got to attack them on the rim.
I tipped Frankston to make a grand final. Liam Santa Maria and I a couple of weeks ago made our predictions. And in the men's side, I think Frankston are going to get going and they are continuing to play well. They didn't have Majuk, who played really well in the NBL select team in China. But I like this Frankston team and they had another good weekend as well. I think we might have some highlights of Frankston. Have you got some highlights at the back? No? No, there we go. We got there in the end. But I just like the way this Frankston team is playing. Dan Trist is playing, obviously, and he's not going to go anywhere because his NBL team is based in southeast of Phoenix, but southeast of Melbourne. But if you look at the way Frankston are playing, I like what they're doing. They all continually are starting to peak at the right time, or at least as a group. They took a little while to gel. I like where they're at, Wortho.
I think they were 2 and 4 to start the season, and like you said, without Majuk this weekend, they had a great weekend. Dandenong obviously short a few players that are away with the under-19s and Sam Froley and Kelly LaPepe and their coach, DP. But from a slow start, they've actually worked themselves up the ladder quite nicely and they're currently in 6th on the ladder on NBL1. They are a team, I think Andrew Harms said, if they play defence, they can beat anyone on the night. And they've been one of the real surprise packets probably in the last month that have just shot through the ranks. But I do like your prediction. I think
they beat Ballarat a couple of weeks ago.
They beat Ballarat. They're capable of beating Nunawading, in my opinion, and they're capable of beating Geelong as well.
Actually, a friend of ours, Felix Von Hoff, rang me on Saturday afternoon.
Jeez, did he talk about his screen?
How was this? So
did he talk about his screen?
He rang me on Saturday afternoon before the game. He goes, "What are you doing tonight? You're watching us. We've got Nunawading coming in. We had Dane Swatella, of course, in the NBL1 show last week." I said, if I'm bored, I'll watch Felix, knowing full well that I wanted to watch for 2 reasons. Toby Smith-Milner, who dropped 26. I think it was 26 or 28 points, and Peter Hooley had a triple-double. And Felix didn't do a great deal, but they got the win against a short-handed Nunawading team, players in the 3x3. Shane McDonald got an early foul trouble, and in the end, they got a win at home. But Felix texted me after the game, 1, to ask if I watched, and I had to send him a screen grab to prove it, and 2, to ask about the block that he had, and 1 screen. I said, as a captain, You must be doing a hell of a good job in the pre-games because you're doing nothing on court. But that Kilsyth men's team, who went through a little bit of a slump or didn't play as well in the middle stages, have started to find their groove and find themselves back into the top 4 as well. And to Peter Hawley, I read the article last week, Roy Ward, and it's Drexler Kernan-Drew this week who has spoken to Roy Ward as well. Guys who are obviously in that free agents list in the NBL and are not allowing it to become all about them and just worry about what I'm doing. They're playing the team role. Peter Hawley's been really good for Kilsyth. Kernan-Drew has been really good as well, and triple-double for Peter Hawley on Saturday night. So to see that, it was a good win for, and I've got to shout out to Nunawading as well. Have you seen the Simon Conn game drawer? They lost in overtime in the end to Waverley on Sunday. Short-handed. I don't know how it went in. He had a shot, got it off the rebound and just tossed it back up. It looked like it almost come off the roof off about 3 or 4 bounces, and they lost in overtime. But that Nunawading team, who are really good, short-handed, were valiant all weekend. But I've got to give a shout out to them. Felix, you're not doing nothing, brother.
Yeah,
Your teammates are lifting.
Felix, you lift your game to start off with. But going back to Nunawading, they've just been good for a long period of time, and the McDonald-Con combination, I mean, it just gets the job done week in and week out for majority, and it doesn't matter who goes out of the team. If those two are playing,
it gives them a chance.
It gives them a chance of winning.
Mm-hmm. Do you get to watch much of the men's? Knox? Actually.
Yeah,
Knox men are struggling. You can say it.
I called them the most disappointing team about a month ago because I just think... I actually commentated the Knox Diamond Valley night when you were really good against Diamond Valley, in particular in the second half, and they beat Diamond Valley as well. But I was just really surprised that with the players they got on the court and they're, I guess that they've assembled, that they don't have a better record. What do you make of what's the feeling around the team and through the association?
I think they just need to keep coming together and working hard as a team. I don't know if many of those boys have played together before, so I think that also doesn't help. But I think, just good chemistry throughout the team will, help them perform on court. But, D-Mac's trying. I know I see him the way he coaches, and, I think that if, they all come together and they produced some good basketball on the weekend in Tassie. We watched, some of us girls watched some of their game, and, they were able to get a few wins, but, hopefully they can keep going on with the way that they are.
This is not on the run sheet, but I think it's important that we mention it. Angus Glover coming back for his first game.
It was good, wasn't he?
He was really, really good, and I'm just super happy for him. A young guy that's going to play for the Illawarra Hawks this year, has had some horrific injuries throughout his young career already, and for him to come out and play again, I think it was great to see him back on the court, but for him to play well as well. So congratulations, Angus. Glad to see you back on the court, and hopefully you're out there for a lot longer now and have the career that you deserve to have.
Insanely talented, 21 points. Just before we look to this weekend's games, you were in Tasmania over the weekend, as we mentioned, and there's always a talk about NBL and Tasmania and all the rest of it. What's the basketball vibe down there in the 2 gyms you played in? A lot of people rolling on in. Are they excited about the games? Of course, it helps that you smack both teams, so you would have been happy. But what is the general feeling around basketball down there?
They were sitting on their hands for 2 games.
They seem to have a lot of support down there. They have a good crowd. I think that, basketball, could be going further in Tasmania, and I think with the help of being in this league really does help them grow, and, I think that they, hopefully more players will be able to go down there and play for them, and because, besides the weather, it's, good teams.
It's a good point you make, where they blew them out by 30 in both games, and it seems like they were both over at half time.
Yeah.
So there wasn't that much excitement in the women's side, but anyway, but that's all well and good. All right, before we talk about what when you leave on Friday and how it's all going to go and how excited you are, let's look to this weekend. Were there anything stand out for you for this weekend? That Knox Ringwood game, I know you won't be there, Lauren, but on Sunday, 3rd v 4th when it comes to the women's side of it, and of course huge when it comes to double chances and finishing the top 4. So that will be a big game between 2 traditional rivals when it comes to the junior ranks as well, and now both of those associations in the same league.
I'm just interested on a couple of teams and how they bounce back from last weekend. There was a couple of shocking losses there, and Melbourne being the first one, losing to the COE. I'm interested to see how they bounce back on the Friday, but besides that, I mean, I won't point out any games. If anything from the weekend taught me anything, is just get out and watch a game. There is some serious talent probably in each and every one of those games that you can go to. And I was fortunate enough to see both the Ballarat-Bendigo games, and it just, even in the women's game, even though that Bendigo is insanely talented, the Ballarat girls took it right up to them. And there's players on every team that just do so well. So whatever you do, just get out and watch a game because it's well worth watching.
Eltham and Bendigo will be interesting. I'm assuming Alice Koenig's going to be in uniform for Eltham this weekend?
Well, she gets back. She gets back this afternoon. So
there you go. So they're playing Bendigo, which for so much of the year has been the barometer, right, for them in Geelong. So welcome into it, Eltham, who need to start getting some of these wins to force themselves back into the 8.
And the rich just get richer because for Bendigo, Tess Madgen played her first game for them as well. And now when you've got Tess Lavey, Tess Madgen, and Kelly Wilson as your perimeters, it's pretty special.
It is, and that's so much of what we've spoken around the league. All right, what are you studying at university?
Secondary PE health teaching.
How's it all going?
It's good. In my 5th year, and I hopefully graduate at the end of the year.
Hopefully. How hard is it to combine studies with playing basketball at the highest level? Like, do you ever just sit there and go, I can't be bothered studying?
No, fortunately my uni is really good with me. Very lenient, help me out when I need. They know that basketball is first priority, so they're willing to help me out when it comes to, trainings and stuff like that, working around it with classes. So I'm very fortunate for Victoria University being able to help me out there.
Good plug. Yeah,
really? I went to Victoria University for about 3 weeks, I think. Did you ever attend? No, you would have been.
I was over in the States for...
Bunbury High School. Metro State.
Yeah, did I graduate high school though? That's another question.
And obviously, is it gold or not? Like, where do you... Is it sometimes hard to sort of level up where you're going to be against other countries when you go to university games? Or do you know the strength of the other countries, or what do you think?
Well, 2 years ago, I went and we won gold.
So back-to-back or fail, is that what you're saying?
I've got gold in mind. Yep. Gold all the way.
Okay.
Yep.
That'll do, mate.
That's it.
Were you happy with that?
Yeah, I'm happy with that. I actually found out that one of the kids I coached at LMU is playing for the Czech Republic at the university.
Didn't even realise he was from Czech Republic. You thought he was American?
No, I knew he was from Czech. Peter Herman, good man.
Shout out to Herm then.
The Herman.
Will he start?
Oh, yeah, he'll start.
He'll start? Okay.
Do they play basketball in the Czech Republic?
I don't know. You're the one telling the story. No. Lauren, firstly, congratulations on what has been an outstanding NBL1 season so far. Good luck for when you get back, but also representing your country again over the next month. More
Scherf and turf.
I know you're going to claim it, are you? I've never seen you blush. I've never seen you quiet. But that first minute was... But now when you're warm to it, have you?
Yeah, no, I'm fine with it.
Okay, cool. On that note, we're out of here. At NBL1 on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, of course, on YouTube as well. All games broadcast. Don't miss it. Until next week, this has been the NBL1 Show.